It's very nice to meet you and have you on the Geekcentric podcast. It's awesome to have the opportunity. How are you both doing today?
No, great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. We had an
Yeah.
amazing opening yesterday. I mean, premiere
Yeah.
last night. So, yeah, we're all very excited for it to come out.
Yeah.
The
Well,
21st.
I was there. I was very excited. First time I've ever done something like this. So I was so taken back by the performances throughout this entire movie, and you guys delivered.
Thank you, sir.
You know, Titus is such almost like a broken hero that
He's
is finding a new path.
That's a great way of saying
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
and you're very much finding your path.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know, like, when you're coming up with finding this sort of personality, the soul of these characters, like, how do you connect with these characters to bring them to life? Staz, let's start with you.
We've spoken about this before. I mean, you have to connect to something organic to yourself. You know, you can't be looking outwardly and trying to add pieces onto yourself. It's a case of finding how this drive or this emotion or this feeling, this moment is truthful to you. And if it doesn't feel completely natural, embellishing on the traits that already exist in all of us, and embellishing on those traits that need to be more defined or more refined for the character. This, like you said, we're both of us are kind of on this path back to redemption, back to heroism, back to and that's a feeling I think every actor has felt, every person who's struggled in any occupation, any form of life has felt. The path to,
Right.
you know, and the journey is often the most interesting and the most filled with things to draw from. So, you know, the backstory was so effective that Zack created for us, and the writing was there, and the rest was just connecting to solitude, connecting to the idea that. My greatest day is yet to come, even if it feels so dark now. You know, and it's connecting to those ideas and thoughts and how that relates to you.
I have to say that, you know, of course, we're dealing with a sci-fi fantasy world that he's been fantasizing for over 30-some years. And I happened to accidentally meet him early in his career when he was still in film school and taking pictures and, you know, doing...
He was doing a array of things.
He's doing a number of things, and little did I know this man would be creating 300, you know, such an iconic picture called 300, and then later, you know, for me to exist in this concept of his called Rebel Moon. But ultimately, the connection had to come from the organic nature of the story. That in itself, where I could really feel the resonance of the continent of Africa coming off the page, right? So the geopolitical tentacles has been holding that continent back for centuries. Now, you know, came alive in this story, Rebel Moon.
Yeah, you see some real world stories kind of taking place in this fantasy world. And what's so beautiful too is you both talked about it, the authenticity, the honesty where you can connect, because then that sincerity comes out in your performances. I asked you guys how you connected with these characters. I'd love to know, on the flip side, what are you taking away from these characters? Have you learned anything about yourself from playing these characters, or discovered something new about yourself?
I talk way too much.
Well,
That's one of the things I've definitely learned. I learned that sometimes it's better to wait, and the answer will come to you into this.
well, I think, you know, with any films you're part of, you know, and certainly as an actor, you are the instrument of interpretation. And so given that, some part of that story is going to be left in you, and some part of you is going to be left in that story. And
That's a beautiful way to wrap this interview. Thank you both so much for joining. It was an absolute honor to meet you both.
So glad you enjoyed it.
Awesome.
We'll see you at part 2.